Mrs. LM is here,
Hello.
and we're going to answer the all too common question, how to buy a 3D printer, or actually, how not to buy a 3D printer. And hopefully we can help you avoid some really common, costly mistakes. Let's go. All right, Mrs. LM, where are we starting? What do you got?
Most people set a budget and then ask what 3D printer fits within it.
All right, so we're trying to help people avoid mistakes. So I think setting a budget first and then trying to find a 3D printer that fits it is probably the wrong way to go about it. I think what people need to do first is they need to find out what is motivating them to get into 3D printing. And from there, then you can kind of determine your budget after that. But the real motivations are you getting into 3D printing because you are interested in all of these amazing filaments behind me? Or are you getting into 3D printing to tinker on the machine? So are you more into 3D printing or are you more into the 3D printer? And if you can answer that question, then when we go through budgets, the machines that you're interested in or not interested in will kind of float to the top. They'll stick out more. Now, once you've determined that, now you can ask yourself the next question, which is, what do you want to print? So do you want to print trinkets? Do you want to print decorations? Are you printing miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons? Are you going to be micro-manufacturing for a business? Are you doing custom prints for clients? Is multicolor printing something that you're interested in? Those are the questions that come after. So first, we determine, why are you getting into the hobby? What do you want to print? And now we can talk about budgets. Now, as I go through some of these machines, I want you to keep in mind that I'm only going to be sharing machines that I have personal experience with, right? So I don't want to be sharing with you machines or suggesting machines that I've never experienced myself. All right, Mrs. LM, I'm assuming our budget is going to start at $100?
Yes, $100.
Okay, so give me some printers that are within the $100 budget that we've looked at.
Okay, how about the Creality Ender 3 V2?
Okay, the V2? Let's see. So Creality Ender 3 V2 that definitely fits within the budget of $100. I think Micro Center is probably the place if I was to get that. They're about $99 at Micro Center. I think if you're a first-time customer, you walk in. If you don't have a Micro Center near you and you have to buy one online, I think those machines are going to be about
$179.
$179.
Yeah.
Okay, so about $179. And the build volume on those is 220 by 220 by 250
Correct.
millimeters.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay, so that is a good mid-size 3D printer. Like I said, you can pick that up between $99 and $179. That is a machine that is going to be more for people who want to tinker, right? So you might be lucky and get one out of the box. It works just fantastically. I did. A lot of people's experiences with the Ender 3 V2, that is a machine that's going to need some upgrades and some things like that. So think about great price, putting a little bit of sweat equity out of that machine to get it to perform really, really nicely. Micro Center is a great place to get printers, right? I think that people overlook Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist as places that you can go to get 3D printers. There is a lot of things changing in 3D printing right now. There are a lot of new machines coming out on the market, and there's a lot of people that have existing 3D printers, and there's people that are looking to upgrade. You know, they want the latest and the greatest. Now, if you have a budget to afford the latest and greatest, that's fine. Then you can go do that. If you are on a $100 budget, like what we're talking about here, Facebook, Craigslist, and places like that are wonderful places to go and get those machines that other people are trying to offload. And especially if you're willing to put in the sweat equity, I don't think it's such a bad idea to pick up machines off of Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Maybe take a friend with you that knows what they're doing with 3D printers, and they can kind of make sure you don't get yourself a lemon. But or you could always try going 20 pages deep into Amazon or Temu.com. Speaking of Temu, tell me in the comments below what you think of Temu. Temu reached out to us and wants to sponsor some of our content. And but I never used Temu, so tell me down below in the comments, is Temu something you've used? Is it good? Bad? Tell me. Share your stories. I'd love to read them. All right, so $200.
How about the JGMaker R1?
The JGMaker R1. So we looked at that recently, and what's the price on the JGMaker?
I think it's $179.
The JGMaker R1, to be honest with you, is a really, really great printer, and I don't really think that I would consider the JGMaker a tinker's machine. I think it was kind of, it was not fully loaded, but I have to say it was a loaded 3D printer, and I think it was a fantastic start. And I think that if you were looking between the Ender series machines, it like an Ender 3 V2 at $99, and you were bumping up to $200, I think that the JGMaker is a real contender there. Now, isn't there a Creality machine or two at that same price point or similar?
Yeah, the Ender 3 V3, I think SE.
The SE. Yeah, oh, of course, yes, the SE. So the Ender 3 V3 SE is like what, same price?
I think it's 179 too.
179, same thing. So if you want to stick with the Creality brand, then of course the SE. Matter of fact, the SE, my personal thought, my personal opinion, if I had to choose between the R1 and probably the SE, I think I would probably go with the SE. That machine, the user experience, that was the first Creality machine where I saw the entire complete package together, and that was a wonderful machine for 179. I think I even saw people picking it up for 159, but yeah, probably go check their website. But we'll have links on the screen, the best that we can, but we'll definitely have every link to all of the printers that we talk about today in the description, and you'll have to go check them out. How about another one? Is there anything else at that price range?
I think the Sidewinder Artillery X3 Pro.
Oh, what? No. How much? No, 219.
No, it's a 219.
Okay, so we're trying to keep it as close as we can to 200. 219 for the Sidewinder X3 Pro, which we just looked at and put a video out just a handful of days ago. So you'll have to go see that. Maybe, I don't know, it's up here on the top of the screen somewhere. I can get YouTube to put that video link up there, and you'll have to go check it out. The Sidewinder X3 Pro at $219. If you could scrounge up another $20 to get above that budget from somewhere, that would be worth it. That machine at $219 rivals machines that we are looking at that are in the $400 price range. So if you have an opportunity to go find another $20 to add to that $200 budget, that Sidewinder X3 Pro would be a fantastic machine. And it's fast, like 300 millimeters per second.
And
really
it's
nice.
slightly bigger build plate.
How big?
240 by 240 by 260.
Yeah, 240, 240, 260 versus 220, 220, 250. So, and those are dimensions on the X and the Y and the Z. So 240 millimeters by 240 millimeters by 260 millimeters tall. All right, so what's next?
We're going to 300.
300? Okay, so give me some machines in the 300 price range.
The hot one is the Bambu A1 Mini.
For $299.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. So if you don't know anything about Bambu Lab came into the 3D printing community or industry about 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years.
About 2 years ago, a little bit shy of 2 years ago. And boy, did they shake things up. So they brought us a series of machines that first started out at about $1,500, $1,600. And now they've kind of worked their way down, setting machines at every single price point down to the $299 budget range. And these machines are bringing the highest level of tech that we have ever seen in 3D printing. There are more sensors. These things are complete appliances, and they are priced very aggressively to compete in this very competitive industry. The A1 Mini has a build volume of
180 cube.
180 by 180 by 180. So that's about 7 inches, which is very similar to some other mini printers in our industry, like the Prusa MINI. It's a small build plate, small size printer, 7 inches cubed, which that sounds very small, and some people might immediately go, oh, that I don't want a printer that small. Trust me, they've done all the research on this for years, and they've actually found when you go to places like printables.com, you go to Thingiverse, and you go to these places, you will find that most of the models that are available for people to print fit within a 7-inch build volume. Now, if you plan on doing things like printing helmets or cosplay or larger decorations or hobby crafting, things like that at home, then the Mini wouldn't be for you. You can still slice things up on the computer, print them in pieces, and then glue them together. Keep that in mind. But if you're looking at printing cosplay helmets and things like that, then you're not going to want that Mini. You won't be interested. But the $299 for the A1 Mini is pretty fantastic. And we're going to talk about something that's optional with that A1 Mini here in a moment. But okay, what else?
How about the Kingroon KLP1?
Oh, the KLP1. Yeah, the Kingroon KLP1. How much?
$339?
$339 for the Kingroon KLP1. The KLP1 is going to be a machine, if you're listening right now, and when we asked those questions in the beginning, if you are interested in the things that come out of a 3D printer, or are you interested in the 3D printer? Like what part of the hobby are you most interested in? The KLP1 is for you people that love to tinker. I think I saw the KLP1 at one point for $319. I swear I saw it for $319 at one point. But here's the thing. $339 for that machine That is a Core XY machine. It's a different motion style, right? But it's very fast. It's enclosed. It's beautiful. And that is a machine that it is a tinkerer's delight. It's going to work out of the box just fine, and it's going to print incredibly well. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. But if you like to tinker, that's a machine that I highly recommend. And like I said, I'll try and put a link up above me for the video if you want to go check that video out. But it is a great machine. I really liked it. And Kingroon, there's more coming from them. Okay, how about anything else?
Creality K1. Speaking of Core XYs.
Oh, another Core XY, the Creality K1, which is a wonderful machine. And I really hope we're putting B-roll up on the screen, or at least showing you the websites with these printers. But the Creality K1, what price?
Well, okay, so on a discount, I've seen as low as $350.
Okay.
But I've also seen it as high as $420.
Okay, so someone just told me in a YouTube comment that they picked it up for like $341.
Okay.
So it really depends on where you go and what time and what sales. But $340 to $420 for the Creality K1. What's the build volume?
220 by 220 by 250.
220 by 220 by 250. What was
Correct.
the build volume on the Kingroon?
210 cube.
Oh, so the
So
Kingroon's a
smaller.
little bit smaller. Okay, 210 cubed on the Kingroon. Okay. The Creality K1, if I had to choose between the K1 and the KLP1, I would go with the Creality K1. That's what I would do. That's a very, very nice machine, and a lot of people are finding great success with it. Print quality is really great. I compared in one video, I compared the Creality K1, the QIDI-Tech X-PLUS 3, and the Bambu Lab P1S. And I think the Bambu Lab P1S actually came out as the top. I think the second place, if you want to call it that, was the Creality K1. And it's a wonderful machine, and I highly recommend that, especially at that price point. I mean, do you understand what we're getting here? These are incredible 3D printers that this machine a year ago would have been $700, $800, $900 to $1,000, and now it's on the market for $340 to $420. Incredible.
Incredible. It's also a good idea if you have an eye on a particular machine to constantly go to the manufacturer website, because they literally have discounts often.
All the time, yeah.
And not only that, join their Facebook group. Also join their Discord, because they literally do giveaways.
Giveaways all the time. Matter of fact,
All the time.
we have a ton of people in our community that are showing up on our live streams on Twitch, and they're telling us, oh, I just won another 3D printer. Oh, I just won another 3D printer. And I'm like, where are you going? And they're like, we go to the manufacturer's website, we pay attention on their Discords, we go to their Facebook groups, and they're always posting contests. And these people are entering. They win because they enter in every single competition, and I'm surprised. And by the way, that reminds me, join our Discord. We have a fantastic community over there, and we do giveaways on our Discord. It's pretty fun. You can ask tons of questions, get real-time answers from some very knowledgeable people. And I'll have the link on the screen to join our Discord, but it should be loyal.ms/Discord. Yeah, go join it. Say hello. All right, is that it, or do we have anything more?
Ooh, the Sovol SV07.
The Sovol.
Plus.
Oh man, I need to do something with that machine. So Sovol reached out to us a couple of weeks ago. Shoot, has it been a couple of weeks or has it been a month? It's several weeks ago. And Sovol has some fantastic products coming in 2024. They have some large machines coming. They have some Core XY machines coming. And they have, I believe, a multicolor system coming. And Sovol sent us over the SV07 Plus, which is the plus meaning it's a larger format machine. But what's the build volume on it?
Oh, it's a big one. 300 by 300 by 350.
300, 300, 350. So anything over 300 cubed, we call it a helmet class 3D printer. So 300 cubed is big enough to print a cosplay helmet. Anything less than that, you end up either having to have a really kind of shrink the helmet a little bit, or you'd have to have a small head. The SV07 Plus was a fun printer. We only printed a couple of things on it yet, and I haven't reviewed it enough to give a great opinion on it. But the user experience was great. The print quality was fantastic. So I have a feeling that machine is going to do really well. But what's the price on that one?
Ooh, I think that's $329.
So $329. So it's a little bit over that $300 mark, but I still think that's good. It still fits within it. Someone can go scrounge up a couple of dollars and get a great machine at that. What else?
Quick reminder about filament and budget.
Filament and budgets?
Don't forget to include filament in your budget.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I see that mistake so much, and it makes me feel terrible. And matter of fact, I've given out a lot of filament because of that. we see people that jump into 3D printing and they set their budget. A lot of people assume that when they order their first 3D printer, it's going to come with filament. Well, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes when it does, it's a little tiny sample about this big and it is completely worthless. So remember, in your budget, if you're going to jump into this hobby, you have to have a little room there for some filament. I would suggest at least picking up a spool or two of a fun filament. And filament ranges anywhere from about $15 for a cheap spool of filament up to about $30 for a spool of PLA, which is the most common filament that you'll begin printing with. And I would just recommend a spool or two. You can also win filament completely for free, and I give away a ton of it. Our content is sponsored by Polymaker, and we have a Twitch live stream where we are live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/LoyalMoses, where we do giveaways every single time we go live. So you can come over to our live Twitch stream. You can type !ENTER in chat, say hello, and I hit a little button and we give away filament. So don't forget, we'd love to see you over there. All right, thank you for that reminder. What's next?
We're going to $400 now, budget-wise.
$400 budget. All right, give me the machines in the $400 budget.
Oh, the hot ones, Bambu A1.
Now we're into a little bit more advanced 3D printers, right? So at $399, that fits in that $400 budget, and that is the Bambu Lab A1, which we just looked at a couple of days ago. That machine got released about 2 weeks ago, so it's brand new. That machine right now is the most advanced 3D printer in our industry. Again, like the Mini, it has the most number of sensors, and the ecosystem from Bambu, there's nothing superior to it. The option to print directly from your phone with a single tap, the option to have what's called an AMS, which is their automatic material system, which means you can do multicolor printing to print some fantastic things. And so, yeah, if you have a budget of $400, my recommendation right now, if it was a hard $400 and there was no more, $399 over at the Bambu website, and you will have the most amazing 3D printing experience that exists. All right, well, I don't know what else can top that. Is there anything else in that $400 range?
Yeah, the Elegoo Neptune Max.
Oh, big printer. Oh, remind me really quick. The Bambu Lab A1 is 256, 256, 256. So
Correct.
It's 256 millimeters, 256 millimeters, and 256 millimeters. And that is, that's a mid-sized printer, is what we would call that. Okay, so the Elegoo Neptune 3 Max, that is a monster machine. And I know the build volume on that one. It's a funny one. It's 420 by 420 by 500, correct. 500, mm-hmm. Okay. 420 by 420 by 500. And I think they did the 420 thing as a joke. Because I think the actual build volume is like 430, 440, or 450. I think they selected 420 just to be funny. But anyway, that is a monster printer. It's what we would call helmet class, right? So anything over 300 millimeters. And it prints so darn well. And we did a video on that some months ago where we actually 3D printed a carbon fiber axe. And we took it out on the ranch and we tested it. And so I'll see if I can get some links up on the screen to that content. But you should go check it out. That machine is a really great machine, and it's a really big one. And Elegoo is producing some fantastic quality machines. And there's some more stuff coming from them. So that's a highly recommend if you're looking at a machine that's within that $400 budget.
It's $400 on sale, but I've seen it like $439 too.
Okay, so it's $400 to $439 for that machine. If you are looking at a $400 budget, but you wanted something that's large helmet class, that is a wonderful machine. I am so impressed with that machine. We did some helmets for it for Open Source in California, and we printed those helmets on that machine, some of them, and they just did a fantastic job. One of the best large format 3D printers that I have ever used. What else?
We're going to 500 now.
Oh, we're already up to 500. Okay, $500 budget. Once we get kind of into this 500 or 600, like I said, the numbers get bigger and there's just a lot more printers. So I don't know how far we're going to go tonight into this budget, but what do we have at 500?
The Bambu A1 Mini with the AMS light.
Oh, gotcha. For $459.
Correct.
$459 gets you that A1 Mini, which by itself is $299. that $459, it comes with the AMS, which is like, again, that's that 4-color add-on that makes that printer just incredible. So that combo, if you are looking, again, for a fantastic experience and you want to dabble in multicolor, that's your cheapest option. $459 gets you that 7-inch build volume on a top-of-the-line advanced machine with 4 colors. And I think that's all I can really say. So that's gonna be your cheapest way to get into multicolor printing. $459, that's it. Okay, what do we have?
Prusa MINI Plus.
Oh, the Prusa MINI Plus. Okay, so the Prusa MINI Plus, man, I have some thoughts about this. That machine used to be the most amazing low-end or entry-level machine, and not just a low-end entry-level like capable. It was actually a really fantastic farm machine. It was incredible results and just a really low price. But that was back when it was like $359, $379, somewhere around in there. Over the years, over the past 4 years, that machine made its way up to about $459, $479, somewhere around in there. And it's now the Prusa MINI Plus. If you are looking for a product that has great support, because Prusa is known for their incredible support, you are going to have to put that machine together. It's going to come as a kit, and I mean like an 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour put together kit, or it's going to come as a partially assembled. The partially assembled takes about 30 minutes for the average person to put together, and I think that price is about $459. And the legitimate kit that takes you forever to put together is $429. It has a 7-inch build volume, and it's also fast. So what they've done is they've taken the firmware that is on one of their higher-end printers, and they've adapted that down to the Prusa MINI, and they've made it darn quick. I can't give you a testimonial on the quality of it at that speed, because I have a lot of Prusa Minis here, but I have yet to upgrade the firmware on them, and I need to do that and get some content out. But that just wanted to make sure that we cover that in our budget here. What do we have next?
Going to 600.
Okay, right to 600.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we have at 600?
You know what? We have the A1 with the AMS slide.
Okay,
Remember, hard budget 6.
Okay, so $559 for the Bambu A1, which is the larger 256 by 256 by 2. No, yes.
Yes, 256 cube.
That's right. 256 by 256 by 256 for the A1 with the AMS. So again, let me just go over this again. The A1 Mini with the AMS Lite, the 4-color option, is $459, and $559 for the A1 with the AMS Lite. So a little bit bigger, right? Actually, not a little bit, quite a bit bigger. So yeah, that's a great machine. It really is. If you had $600, that's probably what I'd go with. I think that's what I'd probably go with. Yeah, great machine. All right, what is next?
Actually, a little bit higher at $619 is the QIDI-Tech X-PLUS 3.
The QIDI-Tech X-PLUS 3 is how much?
$619.
$619. Sorry, I know you said it. I was thinking about something else. 280 by 280 by 270 is the build volume on that one. I remember I got it wrong in the
Correct.
video, and so it's cemented in my head. 280 by 280 by 270, which is a really weird thing. You normally see taller than other directions. That machine is actually really nice. If you are looking for an enclosed 3D printer, it's a Core XY. It's really fast. It's a great machine. But yes, that's the real selling point for that machine. I think that there are other machines that are just the same size or similar for a similar price. The real trick to the QIDI X-PLUS 3 is the heated chamber. So it actually has a heater element inside the machine, and you can set that, and it kind of circulates that warmth around inside the enclosure. And that's really important if you're going to begin to experiment with more engineering type of filaments or more exotic filaments, and you're going to start printing with things like polycarbonates, or you're going to print nylons. That right there is where that really comes in handy. And keeping the temperature up inside that chamber is going to prevent the warping. It's going to keep bed adhesion, and you're going to ultimately just have better quality parts. So think about that. All right, what else do we have?
The Bambu P1P.
Oh, the P1P. Okay, so Bambu Lab, once you get outside of the bed slingers, which is the ones we were just talking about, the A1 Mini and the A1, you get into their next tier of 3D printers, which are their Core XY machines, which are the first machines that they brought to the industry. The P1P is their bare bones Core XY machine, meaning it has no side panels, but they do provide the models for you to print your own side panels. So think about that for a moment. It's a skeletonized Core XY printer that you can then print your own panels and kind of dress it up the way that you want. And so it's a way for you to tinker and build out the perfect machine for you. And you get to do that at a pretty inexpensive price. Well, I think it's $599?
$599.
$599 for that machine. So if you had $600, and if you're looking at multicolor, you would go with the A1 with the AMS light. If you are looking at going Core XY, one thing that I want to mention about the P1P and the P1S and the X1 Carbon that separates it from the A1 and the A1 Mini, you can only have 4 colors right now with the A1 and the A1 Mini. The P1P, the P1S, and the X1 Carbon from Bambu Lab, you can have up to, wait for it, 16 colors. That's right. So you can have 4 of their AMS units connected with a hub, and you can have 16 colors on that machine. And so think about that as the potential, right? So if you go with the P1P, you can always add those AMS units in the hub later, whenever your budget expands. Well, once we get above 600 and we get into the $700 range, I think that's probably content for a separate video, because 700, 800, 900, we start to get into a lot more complicated, fancier machines, and people's budgets begin to widen, right? So when you're down working with a 1, 2, and 300 budget, things are pretty tight. They're pretty hard set. But when people start to get up to $600, $700, $800, they start to widen out. We start to see budgets go, oh, 600 to 900, or 800 to 1200, or 1000 to 1500. We start to see the budgets widen out. And I think that's probably a video for another time, and it's probably a video of a different skill level. Miss Ellen, that was fantastic. Thank you. Let me give a huge shout out and a big thank you to our YouTube members. You are what make this content possible, and you Patreon supporters, wow, thank you for your continued support. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below, tell us how we're doing, and like the video, give us the thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.